Hey class, in this video I'm going to show you how to use Adobe Bridge to export your file as a digital negative or a Adobe RAW file format. So going back to this previous example of Cookie Monster on my desktop, here is a RAW file shot with a Fujifilm camera and the format is .ref. When you are going to be submitting RAW files with the project, you have an option. You can actually just go into your Finder window if you're using a Mac. So I'm going to go ahead and do this really quick. I'm going to right click on this or control click, reveal in Finder. I have an option. If I wanted to, I could actually just get a copy of this. It is already in RAW, and I can just place a copy of it in the folder that I have created here in advance that I'm going to submit as my assignment for the project. So that's one option. You could do that, or if you wanted to kind of continue with the workflow in Bridge, you could actually export this using Adobe's RAW file format, which is called a DNG, a digital negative file. It'll convert this file to a DNG, and it's still going to be a RAW file format. And what it'll do is it'll actually embed your changes with the raw file. So if I go back into the Finder window, remember previous example, when I edited a raw file, it created this sidecar file. A DNG file will actually contain both the raw file and this .xmp file in one. So when I do receive it, or if someone knows how to process raw images, they will actually see your edits because you're also giving them this .xmp file, which will be combined into the DNG. When you are submitting images to me, I can easily reset the files so that way I don't see your images, and therefore I can evaluate your work. And you have an option. If you are going to be shooting RAW, you should be also submitting a high resolution JPEG of that file with your changes, so I could see what you did if you wanted to make changes to that file. Okay, so let's go ahead and export this as a digital negative file, a DNG file. I'm going to create a new preset here, similarly from the previous video, except we're going to make it a DNG format. I'm going to click on the plus sign, and I'm going to say export as DNG. I'm going to keep it in the same location, and I'm going to put it in a subfolder. I'm going to call it DNG. And I'm going to put in parentheses as a reminder for you, this is a raw file. Okay. I'm going to scroll down, and it's not going to be JPEG. It's going to be a DNG digital negative format. Okay. I'm going to leave the preview. When I receive this file, or anyone receives this DNG file, there's going to be a preview attached to it. I'll leave it as medium size. You have an option to actually embed the original raw file, in this case an original .raf file, in the DNG. I'm going to uncheck that to keep the DNG smaller in size. I don't need to actually put the actual original in there. I just want it converted to a digital negative format. Okay, and then I'm not going to delete the original file, so I'm going to leave it as is unchecked. Okay, so now I'm going to scroll down. I'm not going to resize it. I want this just to be converted to a DNG. Leave the metadata in there, and I'm going to hit save. So now I could reuse this preset or wherever I need to export a raw file, anywhere on my hard drive when I'm using Bridge. These presets will remain here under the export section of Bridge. So let's go ahead and click and drag Cookie into the export as DNG. It says there's one job waiting in the queue. I'm going to go ahead and say start export. It's done. I'm going to hit close. I'm going to clear this and hit close. And notice now it created a new DNG subfolder as we specified in the preset. I'm going to go in there. And it does say it's a DNG now. And notice that it does have the edits in there. When I do open this on my end, either Bridge or Lightroom, I will be able to see your edits, and I can always reset them, so that way I can evaluate your exposure, sharpness, etc. All right. So this is what it looks like on the file system. I'm going to right click and reveal it in the Finder, and there it is. Okay. and it's under this DNG raw subfolder. Okay. And then when I'm ready to submit this work, I can copy this image over to this folder. This folder is blank right now, but this is the format that, in terms of the file naming for the folder you will be submitting for each project. PA as in project, 2 is the number of the project. In this case, is project 2 underscore last name underscore first name, and you'll be putting all the images and all that's required for the project itself in here. What I would do is I can actually just copy that over in there along with the high resolution images before I submit the project. Okay. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to export yet with another format.